The opinions expressed by the host and guest on this program are solely their own and do not represent the views or opinions of Blind United. We strive to provide diverse perspectives and discussions on our platform, but the opinions expressed should be understood as personal viewpoints and not reflective of Blind United as an organization.
It's time. It's time for
coffee time.
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 And here is your Coffee Time crew.
Well, good Thursday morning, everyone. And as always, welcome back to Coffee Time with Blind United. I got my brother Pedro with me, and we got a special guest sitting in for Carol this morning. So let me introduce. Good morning, Tammy Lynn. How you doing, Tammy?
I'm blessed. Thank you so much. How's everybody doing?
We all good. So, and then my brother Pedro.
Hey everybody, how's everybody doing? I hope y'all having a good day, Ed. You too? Nice.
Sound like you didn't have plenty of coffee this morning, my brother.
No, because I was doing something in the background. I was like, oh, yeah.
Okay. I just feel like you're a little amped up, but you good. Anyway, again, it's last day of the month, so of course we don't have any interest groups for y'all today, but again, they will be starting back tomorrow and moving on through the month of August. So, but other than that, we're here today to do what we do here. So, let's go ahead and jump into our articles, and we'll just go from there. So our first article, everybody knows, I hope everybody knows, if you don't know, they had a major earthquake over in Russia. What was it, 8 point something the other day? And actually, what was it, Tuesday, early Wednesday morning? And it triggered a tsunami warning across the Pacific. So anyway, that's what our first article is about. So run that one, Pedro, and we'll talk about it on the other side, my brother.
Hey Blind United crew, let's pour a careful first cup this morning, as our thoughts are with everyone across the Pacific. Overnight, a powerful natural event has sent waves across the ocean, reminding us of the immense power of our planet and the importance of heeding official warnings. A massive 8.8 magnitude earthquake struck off the far eastern coast of Russia on Wednesday local time. An earthquake of this intensity on the seafloor can displace a tremendous amount of water, generating a series of powerful tsunami waves that travel across the entire ocean basin at hundreds of miles per hour. In response to this threat, tsunami warnings and advisories were issued for millions of people living in coastal zones across the Pacific, urging them to evacuate low-lying areas and seek higher ground immediately. The scale of the event is vast, with advisories reaching from Russia and Japan to the Philippines, Indonesia, and across to South and Central America in countries like Chile and Peru. Here in the United States, warnings were issued for Hawaii, Alaska, and the entire West Coast. According to the National Oceanic and Atmospheric Administration, the first waves began reaching Hawaii in the early evening, local time. One wave reported in Kahului, on the island of Maui, was measured at over 5 feet high. Closer to home, smaller initial waves began arriving along the coasts of Washington, Oregon, and California early this morning. While significant damage has thankfully been minimal so far, authorities are stressing that the danger is not over. It is critical to remember that a tsunami is not a single event, but a series of waves, and the first wave is often not the largest. Dangerous currents and additional surges are possible for many hours after the initial wave arrives. For this reason, all residents are urged to stay away from beaches, harbors, and coastal areas until officials give the all-clear. This event is a stark reminder of the importance of emergency preparedness and taking official alerts seriously. Have you ever experienced a tsunami warning or a major earthquake? And what are your thoughts on how communities can best prepare for natural disasters? We would love to hear your perspective in the comments. Now back to the Coffee Time crew for their thoughts.
All right. Well, I mean, I've been watching this, and of course, we didn't suffer uh, here on the West Coast at all. I mean, I did hear that there was a little bit of damage over in Hawaii. Uh, where the water got up and got into one of the hotels or something that were, probably right on the beach, of course, right? Probably, kind of right at sea level. So, but I mean, again, the waves that they're talking about, I mean, I've seen bigger waves than that when I grew up on Venice Beach out here, I mean, I don't, we used to call them riptides. They would come in. I mean, they would be 8, 10 feet tall. You know what I'm saying? And I mean, yeah, they would have warnings at the lifeguard station. Be careful, riptide. Strong currents, all that kind of stuff. So, uh, you know, I don't think that there's, much of a chance of anything really, really major coming over this way. They say it could take, a couple of days, but also the initial waves they're literally, according what I've found in this article, as well as with my research, when it first happened, those waves are traveling like 500 miles an hour. I mean, that's pretty much like a plane, flying across the ocean, whatever. So that's some pretty fast stuff. But I just say be careful, stay away from the beach. Like I said, I've experienced, regular riptides and stuff like that that seemed to me had more of an effect than what this earthquake did. So I don't know, Tammy, you've been living on the West Coast long. Have you ever experienced
Yeah,
any of the big waves down in along the
yeah,
beach?
I sure have. I worked as one of the first longshore women in LA Long Beach Harbor. And I was just thinking when they said that same as you, riptides. And I'm thinking that this is a surfer dude's delight, with the unfortunate part of the earthquake. But I think a lot of people will take advantage and go out surfing. And in Maui, to hear that, it affected some parts of that is kind of, important for us to remember that the earth is it's our covering. So we have to protect it and be obedient to what it's saying to us.
Exactly, exactly. Go ahead, Pedro.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Um, yeah, because the earthquake hit in Russia, so we're not gonna feel any force of the earthquake. The waves are coming at almost more than almost supersonic speed, you could say.
Well,
Um,
they said up to five. They said 500 miles an hour. It travels
Yeah,
about.
almost supersonic speed. I said
Uh,
yes, correct. So it could have an effect if you're on water. It's not like those regular waves, you know. It could be a 10-footer wave, but it doesn't have the force that these other waves are coming in with. That energy is kinetic energy. It could build up as it goes as well.
right.
Um, you know, but I have lived in the West Coast and experienced myself the Earth Bridge earthquake, 94.
Well,
That one was pretty crazy. I had a crazy experience growing up as that, living in the West Coast in California. You know, you're gonna experience some earthquakes, even a little tremors and shakers here and there. You know, but they didn't say what was the damage over there in Russia, or did it hit more on the coast? Ed?
I
Any
know they didn't. I mean, the only thing I seen was they showed one clip that they had of, some doctors that were trying to perform surgery at the peak of the earthquake, and they were basically, they had to stop the surgery and hold the patient down on the table. So,
Of course, of course, of course. And
but once it was over with, they just resumed what they were doing.
okay, that's I wanted to know if it, yeah, I wanted to know if it was off in the coast or if it was on land because
Well, it
8.1
was
is
on.
a major
It
earthquake.
was off. It was off the east coast of Russia.
The coast. Okay, it was on the
Yeah,
coast.
yeah. Well, the east
Okay.
coast.
Okay, on land or ocean?
No, it was on. It was on. It was on land.
Oh, I hope them people are okay because we know how earthquakes can get. Hope those people could get help. You know, sometimes you can end up buried alive or without power. This is where emergency kits come in handy. For myself, I do carry. Well, I have my better half has a battery pack that is solar power, and you can crank it up to keep your devices up, or your flashlights that use USB-C. We also have a pump, a flashlight that you pump with your hand and it turns on. You know, when it comes to earthquakes, you have to be prepared. It could cause great damage. It could cause damage to the roads that the authorities or even the emergencies personnel can't get through.
Right.
It can burst even pipes with that could flood areas. Wires can become loose, and electricity and water do not mix. So you have to be careful. If you're in areas that that uh that provides some type of an emergency alert for like disabled or just in a community base in your county, apply for those. Get on those lists. Those could be really helpful being as a disabled individual, being in the blind community or any disabled community. We have people on wheelchairs
Right.
and dialysis and stuff like that. So you have to be prepared. You have to be a few days prepared, even with your technology. These phones are becoming satellite phones slowly but surely. You could get a call or a text out, so
Yeah.
just stuff to think about.
So what Pedro? Let me expand a little bit on what Pedro's talking about. So no matter where you live at, reach out to your local emergency services if you're disabled, and they are putting together lists now of people for the first responders of where the residents are that are disabled, so that they know to come to those residents and check, do a wellness check, see if you need help getting out, all of those various kind of things. But so, yeah, it's smart to get with them. I mean, because you never know when something like this could happen. I mean, earthquakes are, of course, here in California, we deal with them on a regular basis, so for me, it doesn't sound like a big thing. Because
Mhm.
I've been dealing with them all my life, right? But at the same time, I've seen the damage and destruction that it can do. I mean, like Pedro was talking about that Northridge earthquake. Ooh, that was ugly. It tore up a whole lot of stuff.
And
Uh,
that was not a 8.1. That was less than 8.1. So I'm
well,
saying this.
yeah, I think it was
Ooh.
a 5.3. I think that one
Mm-hmm.
was.
Mm-hmm.
So again, the 8 is much, much, much more powerful. So again, but the thing about it is, and Pedro's talking about, the generators and the solar powered stuff like that. It's about emergency preparedness, just like we were talking about yesterday with the Red Cross. Red Cross, they help with a lot of that kind of stuff. So, not, I mean, if you go to their emergency preparedness workshops, you can pick up some of that stuff. They'll pass it out to you, right? If they got it available, they'll definitely give it to you. But on the flip side, if you just one of those people that always wants to stay prepared, man, get with some of this stuff and make sure you
Mm-hmm.
got you a bag that's ready to go, that you can do what you need to do with it. Everything is in that bag. So,
Yes,
yeah,
yes, and if you depend on your devices, let's say your Victor Reader or your iPhone, you could download these maps as well. So if you need to go somewhere, do something, you have a downloadable map that's on your phone. You don't need no internet connection. You could have it on your Victor reader as well, just in case you need some navigation. It's good to have things on hand. You know, you never know how things will turn
right,
out.
right,
Your battery pack. I know people have these devices. Let's say, for example, we're gonna have the Glide coming out. We have little sonar clips that you clip on your cane, or we have high parsers that use lights on their cane. And some of these devices all have batteries. They all have to be charged. So just to go back to what I was saying, get
right.
a dependable battery pack. Sometimes we do need our technologies. You know, um, it'd be dope once we have AI on device, because then we wouldn't need the internet to get live description. So that'd be another
Right,
device that we would have to keep charged and help us navigate some of this kind of landscape that could become when an earthquake or a hurricane or a major disaster.
right. So, on that note, Tammy, not so you don't seem like you sitting over there just being all quiet. Are you prepared?
I am. I'm as prepared as I think I'll ever be. I have a earthquake or an emergency prepared bag that I have that has food for the next 10 years. And I got that through the Disability Center in Long Beach. And as a part of, I went there for them to help me with my utility bill, and they had that as a part of the community protection, which was the emergency bags, and it has various items, water for the next 5 years and things like that. So you're
Okay.
absolutely right. Preparedness is the best way to go.
Yes,
Right.
and like I know my friend Ed here, he has important documents in the lockbox ready to go. You know, these documents sometimes you will need them to verify your identification. You know, as
Yeah.
identification, you need your passport and birth certificates and all that good stuff. And having those in a even air sealed bag in a suitcase ready to go. You know, it could be a locked one for security reasons. We know how things get, but even having those documents in hand and having them handy to go can make a big difference. And just think about it, having a bag ready to go, let's say, and God forbid, a fire breaks out or something happens out of the blue, you're ready. You're ready.
Right.
Once you stay
Right.
ready, you don't gotta get ready.
I mean, that's it. That's it. We all, always got to be ready for whatever comes around the corner, and also that box that I grabbed is also a fireproof box just in case I forget it.
Yes.
I can come kick through the
Dang.
rubble. I can come kick through the rubble and find it and have my documents and all that stuff will still be safe inside of it. So, but I mean, again, like you said, we got to be prepared. We do. We have an affiliation with a independent living center down here in Claremont, where they have emergency preparedness workshops. I mean, if you want to put together a workshop, and they'll come out and do it at your place, or you can sign up and come to do them, or because they do them on a regular basis at their location. So, but bottom line, they always got like the all kind of different stuff. I mean, they got. I mean, it seems like almost every time I go, they got a different package. Okay, well, if I
Yeah,
keep going and keep going and keep going, I'm gonna end up with everything I'm gonna need, and I ain't had to spend a dime.
yeah. Well, yeah,
Yeah,
they have community doctors and clinics come out for
right.
like eyesight and then for emergency preparedness, earthquake preparedness, I seen. So it's another source of help for the community. And if you live around that Montclair area, oh no, Claremont, right?
Claremont.
Yeah, I'm sorry. If you live about that Claremont area, they're a good resource. And if you're around your community, you can even probably even call 211. I almost said the other one. Sorry, folks, but
Uh,
just to gather some information, and the more information, the more doors you have open to you to get these resources out to
the
yourself.
main goal is just to make sure that you are prepared, so that if, in case of an emergency, you got what you need, to be able to survive. Like we say, reach out to your emergency services and, make sure you can get on that list so they know, okay, look, that person's blind, that person's in a wheelchair, that person is, in a bed, can't get up, whatever. They know they got to come to those residents. They prioritize that and they come there and they help you get to safety, as they're, going through the rest of the neighborhood. But just your address would be a priority for them, knowing that you're disabled. So, yeah, but stay on top of that and do everything you can to try to get yourself prepared. And then, hey, that way we all can stay safe and hopefully survive whatever natural disaster that we're preparing for, right? Never know what it's going to be. It could be the earthquake, could be the tsunami, could be a flash flood. I live right here at the bottom of the mountains, here by Arrowhead. And,
Wow.
so ain't no telling what might come rolling off that hill. So, but anyway, we're going to bring this segment to an end, jump into a couple promos, and then we'll be back with you for our second article of the day.
If you'd like to know more about Blind United, you can visit our website at blindunited.org. You can email us at info@blindunited.org. You can call us at 909-846-8825. You can follow us on Instagram at Blind United Interest Groups. You can follow us on X at Blind United 22. You can watch our YouTube channel, Blind United. You could join our Facebook group, Blind United Interest Groups, or you can follow our Facebook page, Blind United.
Hey, Coffee Time crew, we got something new. Support the mission and look fresh too. Fresh rock that blue with the logo in white. Blind United shirts, yeah, they feeling right. Just 20 to hand and you're part of the cause. Helping blind folks level up, no pause calls. From Jaws with Andy to Hall Ace Tips. Support group love and crochet kits. Movie nights rolling, the vibes are lit. Every shirt you buy helps all of it. So cop that tee, be proud to wear. You're lifting up lives with every pair. Email us now, don't let it slide. Info@Blind United or join the pride.
All right. Well, I like the new jingle, Pedro. It's really nice. So reach out if you want to get a T-shirt. Again, reach out to us, info@blindunited.org. We'll make sure that we can get that to you. You know, help support what we do because, again, we do this coffee time thing Monday through Friday, but, you know, like we heard us at the beginning of the show talking about our interest groups. That's our base. That's where we provide all of the training and everything that we do with the technology or, you know, different stuff, entertainment. There's a lot of stuff going on in our interest group, but bottom line, we provide all of that to you folks absolutely free, you know, so come on and purchase a T-shirt and help support Blind United and what we're trying to do. So anyway, let's move on to this next article. You know, speaking about natural disasters, we got a lot of folks out there don't believe in it. I happen to believe in climate control, you know, I mean, and stuff like that. And it's just getting out of hand. In my lifetime, I've seen a lot of things change as, you know, the climate pollution, the ozone, all of that different kind of stuff gets worse. And I would truly, truly believe that it has a lot to do with, you know, we're getting these 100-year storms every 25 years now or whatever. You know what I'm saying? It's just bringing these things around in repetition a lot more frequently. So anyway, this one is about, you know, working with the rest of the planet, right? So check this out. This is a summit that's coming up in what is it? I forget where it's coming at. Well, you'll hear it in the article.
Brazil.
I'm sorry. Yeah, Brazil. I'm sorry. Yeah. So come check it out because, again, we need to be involved in this as a country. So check it out. We'll talk about it.
Hey, Blind United crew, for our next cup, let's turn our attention to the high-stakes world of international climate diplomacy. Each year, nations gather for the UN Climate Change Conference, known as COP, to negotiate a global response to one of the most pressing issues of our time. The upcoming COP30 summit in Brazil is considered a landmark event, expected to set the climate agenda for years to come. In these negotiations, the presence and commitment of the United States are often seen as a critical factor for success, as one of the world's largest economies and a major historical emitter of greenhouse gases. The United States plays an outsized role in these talks. A fully engaged U.S. delegation can help drive ambitious goals and rally other nations to increase their own commitments. Conversely, a lack of American leadership or participation can create a vacuum, potentially derailing the ambitions of the entire summit. The level of U.S. involvement often signals to the rest of the world how seriously the climate crisis is being treated on the global stage. This dynamic has been demonstrated clearly in recent history. The U.S. decision to withdraw from the Paris Agreement under one administration, followed by its decision to rejoin under another, sent waves of uncertainty through the international community. This volatility makes it difficult for other nations to formulate long-term strategies, as they are left to wonder whether the U.S. will be a reliable partner in the fight against climate change from one year to the next. The work of hundreds of diplomats and scientists in the State Department is crucial for maintaining continuity and providing the expertise needed for these complex negotiations. When the U.S. takes a step back from climate leadership, it also opens the door for other global powers to increase their influence. As climate scientist Yuri Rajolj of Imperial College London has noted, a U.S. absence allows other voices to be heard more loudly. This is particularly true for China, which has identified growth in green technologies as a key pillar of its economic strategy. A retreat by the U.S. is not just an environmental issue, it's a geopolitical one that could hand a significant economic and diplomatic advantage to competing nations in the race to develop the technologies that will power the future. The level of U.S. participation in global climate talks carries immense weight, influencing both environmental progress and the geopolitical landscape. How do you believe the United States should balance its domestic economic priorities with its leadership role in these crucial international climate negotiations? We'd love to hear your thoughts in the comments. Now back to the Coffee Time crew for their thoughts.
All right. Well, climate change. I mean, again, I believe that, the climate is changing. And I believe also that it's very important that we stay in, on these conversations and these conferences and stuff like that. Uh, I mean, again, it just right now we're in a position where, people in charge don't necessarily agree with, climate change and stuff like that. So they're kind of pulling away from all of this kind of stuff. That's where the article's talking about, that the rest of the world don't know from one year to the next whether we're going to be involved or not. I think that, green technology is definitely the way to go. I mean, we only got one home. I mean, this planet is our home. I mean, it's unproven yet that we have other places we can go as far as, all of these other planets that are out there. So this is the one we're on, and this is where the majority of people are going to be. You can't do a worldwide evacuation. So we got to take care of this one. So we definitely need to do what we can to try to preserve this one, and being involved with these conferences and stuff like that, and having a global understanding of what goals we're shooting for, as a common practice is very, very important. So, I mean, I just wish that we're going to be involved with this. It doesn't look like it, but we definitely need to, because, man, like I said, in my lifetime, I've seen, every year it seems like, the winters get just a little bit colder, and every summer it seems like it might get just a little bit hotter. And then, like I said, we got all of these different flash floods and stuff like that, all kind of different things that are happening that, I believe climate change has a lot to do with it. So, but anyway, as we say here on Blind United, that's in my opinion, and I'm sticking to it. So, how you feel about this kind of stuff, Tammy?
I think climate change and climate issues are very relevant because bottom line is it gets to the bottom line that I often wonder, as a person who uses AAC devices, augmentative and alternative communication, like the iPhones, like Pedro mentioned, the Victor streams. Where do these things go when they burn out and they wear out? Is it just like one big landfill of iPhones and Victor streams? And then are they affected when it gets so hot? And then all of those emissions of gases, and where do they go into the atmosphere? So I think that a lot of the political reasons why people don't want to deal with it is because it goes to the bottom line. I would have to jam my friend up about green issues, because if it's not dissolving, it's sitting somewhere. And with sitting, it causes other problems. So I think until we get back as like we the people, and start on an individual basis to do what we can to help with the earth, and recycling, or various ways we can help, then it's just going to get worse because I don't think that people are going to stop making the various devices or just things that we use daily, plastics and things like that that affect us. So until we get back to that level, we're going to have to come up with some solutions. And I don't think we can look always to, people who are not interested. If they're not interested, you can't depend on that. So we just have to, people collectively, individually, like you said, keep it on the forefront. I wish that we were part of the talks, but when you withdraw from the world, then isolation is imminent to doom, right?
Yep,
Mm-hmm.
pretty much. Go ahead, baby.
Yes, yes, and some things the iPhone is doing. Apple is put a deadline for themselves to be all manufactured green from making the phone and from putting the phone back to where it came from, meaning you could turn your phone in, they will disassemble, and they say right now I think 70% of the phone is recyclable.
Wonderful.
um
That's great.
they also have settings within the iPhone, energy settings, that if the iPhone knows that it's green energy, it would charge up your phone in a faster rate, I guess. It's dynamic charging. When it knows it's green energy, it does something. It charges more, or it does some type, but it knows when it's renewable energy somehow. I don't know how they're doing it, but it's back in the
Hmm.
in the software, but they doing that. And you know the reason Apple and other companies are saying like going green 2050 and stuff like that is because of what these countries have said in these summits are very important. Just like the space race was important and technologies came out of that program, um green energy is the forefront of new technology. Let's say a new updated type of solar panel. Let's say version 2 comes out. Let's say another country makes that instead of us. And now they're pushing that around the world and everybody's buying them. We got left out because what? We want to we want to look cool over here in the cool table and slouch and be like, "I'm cool." We don't believe on that. No, we need to take care of a home. We're the richest, powerful country,
All
and
right.
that's how you feel. We need to be the leaders if we're that country. We the leaders.
uh, Not trying to be funny there, but guess what? I just felt.
Earthquake.
Yes, sir.
Oh
Wow.
wow.
Just felt one. It just shook my house.
Oh, me too. Wow.
Yeah.
I just
So,
felt it
Whoa.
right now. Yeah, that's crazy.
I haven't felt. Wow, that's great.
We
But
were just
see,
speaking on it, and
guys, see that bringing new technologies, coming with newer technology for the future, even if it's green or a new type of project where we're trying to make nano technologies, earthquake detector technologies better. If we come up with the technology and the patents and things like that, we have more access to put them to use in our home. And what's our home? The United States. That means every state, blue or red. We should be having the infrastructure of the 21st century, not going backwards. We should be
exactly.
investing in our home. You don't just move in and let the home destroy itself and you move out. That might be a billionaire or a job that they could do. They could just, you know what, let me move out. I'm going somewhere else. But guess what? Most of us can't do that. So we need to take care of our home, and that's the United States. And that means with technology, that means being the leader in social issues like climate change. Uh, even with it comes to first responders, making that system to the 21st century. There some counties are already able to send in text messages back and forth. You know, I hear about these other countries that they got sidewalks that could cool down. They could cool down themselves on the sidewalk cools itself. Um, there's some sidewalks that even warm up to melt snow and help it flow in other countries. We need to be having some of this technology in our home. It's like everybody's getting a smart home, but us. What's going on? What's going on?
Well, I
but
mean,
Saying.
again, when we got somebody that don't really believe in that, and you're cutting out, funding for scientists that are researching all of this stuff, and folks that are investing into this type of technology. I mean, I heard something like uh, uh, like in Chicago, right, where it really gets bad, and all across the North Midwest, right, across that Canadian border, it gets really, really bad. And now they're working on technology as they lay these highways where they got heating elements in the highway, so now they don't have to worry about that black ice and all that other kind of
That's what
stuff.
I'm talking about.
I mean, again, but when you got your own country that's refusing to invest in that kind of stuff with you, you know what I'm saying? It just puts the burden on the cities and stuff like that a lot more than it does the rest of the country because they got to pay for it themselves, right? If you got the feds involved, now we got taxpayer money for coming from the feds is going to help make all that stuff happen at a better rate. Plus, like I said, you're invested in. Look at the folks that predict this here tsunami. After the earthquake, Noah. Look at all the funding he just cut out of Noah. You know what I'm saying? These are the people that keep track of that kind of stuff.
It's the
So
universe telling us right there. The universe is being funny. We got the cut funding. Hold on, give them a little earthquake right quick. Hold up, hold on. Let me
yeah,
That's
yeah.
funny. Whoa, it's not
And
nothing to
who's to
laugh
say that?
about, but it's.
And
Go
who's to
ahead,
say
Ed.
that the earthquake that we just felt moments ago? How can we say that it's not related to the big one over there in Russia? You know what I'm saying? Because an earthquake that big is going to shake the whole planet to a certain extent, which
Yes,
is which is causing our fault lines over here to move around and shake up a little bit. And okay, well let me go and slide a little bit more.
and yes, and let me tell you about a technology that we didn't touch on. The seismic graphs. Right
Yeah,
now, when this happened and these aftershocks, we are able to get pictures of underground and these fault lines, and we're able to dictate and maybe prevent or even know when the next one come. And research goes into all that seismic graph data that they get back. And that's true. There is an earthquake set to hit that's off the Richter scale. That means 10 or more. So 8.1 is almost up there. So we gotta be prepared.
right.
Come up with new technologies, new ways, new strategies, and that's dope that you know, one thing to think about is um how the government built the highways. It was a nationwide program, a government program.
Right. Okay. I'm getting an echo from somebody.
Yeah.
Pedro, I hear you too.
Yeah, I know.
I think there's something going on over there with you, Tammy.
Yes, it is. Can you mute? I can jump up there and I could do a commercial right after.
All right. Well, hopefully you guys out there that are listening in are not getting the feedback in your ear that I'm getting. So we're going to move forward. And let's run a couple almost because it is that time, and then we'll jump to our final. Did you know Blind United offers free training in assistive technology? We call them interest groups. We offer training in JAWS, NVDA, iPhone, iPad, as well as Meta Ray-Bans. We also have groups like support group, cooking groups, and crafting groups. There are also groups for entertainment like movie night and RS game night. For more information about all the interest groups that we offer, just email us at info@blindunited.org or visit our Facebook group, Blind United Interest Group. We would love to have you be part of the Blind United crew.
You can go to customcane.com. That's custom with a K, guys. And what Custom Cane does is they sell cane and cane accessories. It's like Burger King. You can have it your way. You can get a pink cane, a blue cane, a rainbow cane, a Broncos cane, a Chargers cane, a cane with the Braille alphabet, a cane with your name on it. Whatever you want, whatever type of handle you want, whatever type of tip you want. If you want an aircraft aluminum cane, if you want an all-terrain cane, telescoping cane, any type of cane, custom cane has it.
All right. Well, sound like we got that fixed over there, Tammy. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Sorry about that.
No, it's all good.
The earthquake happened and I start choking. I'm like, oh, Jesus.
But anyway, again, reach out to Jimmy. Again, if you looking for a new cane, maybe you're looking for a special cane, something special just for you. He can hook you up. Or no matter what kind of cane you want, if you want to make it special, he can make it special. You know what I'm saying? Like you say, if you want a sports themed cane, he can create you one for the Raiders or Cowboys or whatever your favorite team is, Lakers, Dodgers, whatever. You just got a unique design that you want, to put on your cane. Trust and believe. Jimmy can make it happen for you. And the beauty of working with Jimmy and the custom cane is all proceeds from custom cane go to You Can Give, in which Jimmy takes and refurbishes canes and takes them to third world countries and gives them to people that otherwise would not be able to get a cane. And I'm so grateful for him because, I just think about, what I would do if I didn't have my cane. How would I survive? So I can imagine living life without a cane. So do what you can, whether you donate directly to You Can Give or whether you go to Custom Cane and purchase a cane. You're going to be helping a beautiful cause. So anyway, this last article is all over the news. We got one person left in the Epstein thing going on here. Well, two people, I should say, but one that is still alive and that knows, pretty much everything that went on with Epstein and whatnot. And she's now playing chess. So anyway, let's check out this article and we'll have plenty to say on the other side of this one.
Hey, Blind United crew. For our final cup today, let's delve into a complex story of justice, power, and the high-stakes legal chess match being played by one of the world's most notorious convicted criminals. Ghislaine Maxwell, currently serving a 20-year federal prison sentence for her central role in trafficking minors for Jeffrey Epstein, remains a figure of intense public interest. As one of the few people alive with intimate knowledge of Epstein's entire operation, the secrets she holds could potentially implicate powerful figures across the globe. This reality has led to persistent speculation and debate about what it would take for her to talk. While continuing to fight her conviction through the appeals process, Maxwell holds a unique and powerful bargaining chip, her testimony. Legal experts and political commentators have long theorized that she might attempt to leverage this information in a bid for freedom or leniency. Such a move would not be a cry for justice, but a calculated power play, trading secrets about Epstein's network for her own protection. The potential conditions for such testimony, as speculated by legal analysts, would likely be extreme. They could include demands for full immunity from any further prosecution, the right to dictate the terms and location of her testimony, and control over the questions asked. In essence, it would be an attempt to rewrite the rules of accountability. However, any such offer would face immense hurdles. Congressional bodies, like the House Oversight Committee, have historically been clear that they are not in the business of negotiating with convicted traffickers, and granting immunity would be seen by many as a betrayal of justice. The concept of a presidential pardon also looms over this situation. A pardon could erase her federal sentence, but it is a politically explosive option for any administration and would not protect her from potential state-level criminal charges. Furthermore, it would not shield her from civil lawsuits filed by her victims. This places Maxwell in a high-stakes legal bind. As long as she remains silent, she can continue to use the Fifth Amendment to avoid self-incrimination while her appeals are active. But by withholding her testimony, she also withholds her only potential lifeline. This creates a profound dilemma for the justice system and the public. Is it worth considering a deal for a convicted criminal's testimony if it could expose a wider network of powerful individuals and bring more comprehensive justice for victims? Or must the accountability for her own heinous crimes remain the absolute priority, regardless of the secrets she takes with her? We would love to hear your thoughts on this complex ethical question in the comments. Now back to the Coffee Time crew for their thoughts.
Well, my personal thought is, I mean, I'd love to know what she knows. I really would. There's got to be a way that we can come to some sort of a compromise. I mean, she's already been, tried and convicted and sentenced and all that kind of stuff. So, I mean, in return for her testimony, maybe we could give her some immunity for, any new charges, right? Because we already got her for 20 years. So maybe we can, give her immunity against any new charges if she tells what she knows, especially if she's going to expose all of these folks that were, on that client list. You know what I'm saying? Maybe it's not a list, maybe it's a phone book, whatever. All the people that had dealings with Jeffrey Epstein, I seen a little piece of the interview of the lady that just committed suicide just last year. I forget what it was. It was the lady, I can't remember her name, and I apologize for that.
Miss
But
Dufree. I know her
yeah,
last name, Miss Dufree.
yeah. And again, she worked for Trump when Jeffrey Epstein, I mean, that's what it's all over the news right now. He's admitting that she used to work for him in his spa, and that's one of the reasons why him and Jeffrey supposedly fell out, but this woman said that Ghislaine Maxwell is actually more ruthless than Epstein was, you
Mm-hmm.
know. So, I mean, again, I'd love to know what she has to say. I'd love for her to be able to expose these people for who they truly are and bring them to justice. You know what I'm saying? I just think it's very, very important for all of the victims that they have, created throughout their, I don't know, 10, 15, 20, 30-year run, right? I mean, all the different things that went on down there on that island or whatever it was, it's just, again, we need to know. We need to remove these people, especially if they're in positions of power, because we don't need them. They're going to make laws that's going to make it easier for them to do whatever their fetish is, So that's just my thoughts on it, and I hope that we can get to a point where we can negotiate with her. I mean, I seen something the other day as well, yesterday, as a matter of fact, where normally the person that would be going to talk with her would be the lead prosecutor in the case that convicted her, right? Well,
Mm-hmm.
it just so happens that
Mm-hmm.
she just recently got fired, so therefore she can't be the one, but yet you're going to send Homeboy's ex personal attorney.
It's not even ex. It's still his personal attorney. Let's get that
Well,
right.
well, I mean, I got that, but now he's holding an official office, right? A government job now, rather than working directly for him. But my point being, he don't know nothing about the case. Okay, he wasn't even in the Department of Justice when all of this stuff took place. So therefore, he's not the right person to do that. So, but hey, who
I tell
knows?
you who's the right, why he was the right person for. I can tell you right
Well,
now.
because bottom line, they're going to negotiate a deal. Whether it's going to be whether they're going to give her a pardon,
They
or
shouldn't
whether
even give
they're
her a
going
deal.
to, or whether they're going to commute her sentence. Well, no, he's going to do that because he wants her to remain quiet.
Yes,
That's why.
I know, but I'm saying, in my opinion, they shouldn't give her a deal. And the reason why, and then they're playing this game. They keep saying the judge needs to make these available. Is BS. It's BS. I was hearing it from a lawyer. He was talking about this whole how the
Well, you're
thing
talking about
works.
the grand jury testimonies. That's
Yes,
just minor. That's
I
maybe
know.
one or
That's
two
what I'm trying to
percent of
say.
these files. You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying?
the files has all the information that the jury seen. The jury testimony could be redacted like their official testimony. It could be summarized, but these files retain all the other information. It could be digital media. It could be files, phone books, phone records, plane logs, or even videotapes of those people doing those crimes.
And
So
folks,
yeah, so to have a sitting president that put a his personal lawyer ahead of a department, and now he went to see her, and that even that itself, that person, that position to go see her was too outreaching. That's not the person that would have gone to see her in that position, because how the second head is going to go see her of the Department of Justice?
so,
It's the lawyers. I know he's a lawyer, but that position would have not gone to see her, is what this other
uh,
lawyer was stating and saying, that this is odd behavior. Plus, it's a conflict of interest if you really think about it.
well, look,
Because,
of course, we didn't even got to think about it. It's obvious it's a conflict of interest. And I just want to throw it out there. Tammy, you might as well jump in whenever you get ready.
yes, go ahead, Tammy.
Well, I'm just listening to both of you, but I think it's pretty interesting. I mean, when you mix men and women and you start talking about sexual behaviors, people become very interested. And all of these documents, especially the reporting of the victims, that should be public record. Um, when you speak about the president, whom I can say, and I'm not in defense of anything politically that anyone does, but just on a personal tip, I think that first of all, reflecting back to when you were speaking about, I started choking, but, reflecting back to coming back to when you were speaking about going outsourcing work and bringing inventions and stuff back to America. That's what I think, the country should be focusing on. But of course, we have all of these hypocritical oaths that people take. For instance, we have a president who is a felon. So if you think that, I just think it's really a waste of money to give her any type of lenience. Let her die with what she knows, because we already know who was there. The young ladies told you who was on them. And
Mm.
so I think that the money that we would spend, they can put it into organizations like Blind United and stuff like that, opposed to wasting more money. They've already
Hmm.
showed you they're not going to do nothing to him, because number one, he has this Supreme Court. This person that's taken over for the other person
Hmm.
interviewing this lady, and she's supposed to be one
I
of
know.
the
Hmm.
a criminal. So it's just like, to me, it's a lot of wasted money, but I think a lot
Hmm.
of good things can come out of it if we stop wasting the money trying to
Yeah.
do what is not going to be done. They're not going to convict him. So
Well,
just, I think they should not put no money on her and just let her do her time and get her issue, because they'll
that,
take care of it in jail.
yeah, that's how I feel. They shouldn't pardon her. No way, no how. What is she gonna give us? When she got busted, she was in a mansion with Ferraris. You know what she told the government? I don't know where it came from. They told her, whose mansion this is. I don't know whose mansion it is. I don't know. And they asked her, who, how you got the keys, how you here? She gave them. She just straight walled.
right,
Yeah.
right. I mean, again, we don't necessarily need to talk to her. We really don't need to hear what she's got to say. All we really need are the files.
Right.
Okay.
It's going to.
I mean, once we review them files, I mean, I seen a clip yesterday or day before, whatever it was. But bottom line, Epstein in his home, he kept in the safe a stack of Polaroids that have various people depicted with young girls and stuff like that, right? That he kept in his safe at his mansion, right? Well, when the FBI came up in there, they took all of that.
Right.
So, bottom line, they've got all that stuff. Man, just let it go. Let the people see what's in the files. You know what I'm saying? You can redact the names of the victims, anything identifying about the victim, but let us know what they said. You know what I'm saying? Let us know who was the one that committed these atrocities on them. You know what I'm saying? We need to know all of that, and I don't care whether it's Trump or Clinton or hell,
All of
I
them.
don't care if it's Obama. Okay, I just want to know who all's involved.
So
Okay.
once May I ask a question, Ed? So
Yeah.
once you find out who's involved, then what would be the next step? Would you go after prosecution of these people, or
Yes.
you would?
Yes. Yes.
Okay.
No matter if it's Clinton or Trump, whoever's involved in that type of activity
But
needs to be
haven't
found out.
but haven't we tried that with Puffy? I mean, it's like I think it's a fishing expedition. I think number one, let the lady do her time. If you ignore what she wants, she has no edge on any of those victims. But when you start negotiating and giving her a principle of power through her negotiation, I don't give a doggone what they do with her. But I think she already knows if she says something, she's gonna be dead too. You know,
Yeah, but there's
and
another aspect to that that they don't want to touch on. There is hasn't came out to light. There's speculation that this is intelligence, and he was Mossad intelligence from the Saudi government. And if there is a government that had dirt on our public officials that are in leadership positions, is a big issue that needs to be resolved. We cannot put it to the side. And who is the biggest contributor right now in our government as a APAC, as a lobbyist? So this needs to be investigated. Now, this could go higher than it may seem right now on the surface. It can go deeper because what Jeffrey was doing on his island is referred to as a honeypot. A honeypot is a word that came out of our intelligence apparatuses, intelligence from overseas. They're using words that are within that type of line. So if there is some under type current that needs to come out to the light, it needs to. Because if
yeah,
anybody has something over their head, we cannot have them in leadership position.
but we do. See, why do we, to me, it's like we play these games. People are nosy. They want to know how they was screwing, who they was screwing, how they was getting the girl, who was, blah, blah, blah. That really is not going to matter because we've been investigating for the last 20 years. We investigated. We know why those men are going to Brazil because they like those transsexuals over there. A lot of entertainers do. It goes deep. That's their sexual. I think what happens is when you keep having the investigations, you're going to keep having the same people investigate. President Trump has been very wise. In his first election, he had basically the Supreme Court put there by him. And then now he has his own personal, like you were just saying, his own personal attorney taking a position, a role. Sure, we know it's against the Constitution, but what man or woman has stood up to him? I think what's happening is that a lot of people are losing integrity, and we have to not like shine it on, but I think we just keep wasting money with, trying to see who's what. Let's get some of this money that they are using. And when this man right here, he's fired everyone that has disagreed with him. And Elon Musk told you before he left that Trump was over there. We already knew he was there. He tells you if you listen to him, he likes women, he's a pervert, and blah, blah, blah. Okay, but what is so troubling is that we want to keep doing an investigation for what? What is it go? It's going to prove what? More of the truth.
So right there, Tammy. So for me, I don't care what two consenting adults do. I'm interested in the innocent victims, the children. Okay, I want to know who had a fetish for those young girls, who was doing things to these young girls. I mean, bottom line, they're straight up child molesters. Okay, and what happens to child molesters? Number one, you got to go on a nationwide, list for that stuff. When they end up in prison, ooh, it ain't good for them when they end up in prison.
List. Also,
but I just want to know who's on that list. Again, it's not about them having sex. It's about them having sex with minor children. That's where my issue lies.
Well, then why don't they take the list that Epstein told before he died and prosecute those people? They already know. What I'm saying is that it's so redundant to keep saying investigate. We already know who they are.
But
the files were going to come out until Trump told them to stop the files from coming out.
Right, and you see how
blaming prior administrations, but he says they had those files, but he says they are on those files. So which one is it? Are they they make those files, or are they in those files? So that you can have both. Also, number two, this type of business doesn't go away. This billion-dollar business, it doesn't stop with Jeffrey or Ghislaine. We need to investigate where's it going.
Or Puffy.
Yeah, because these rich individuals are getting away with crime that they shouldn't get away with.
Well, I just
And people traveling to other countries and doing what they want over there. If it's legal, let them travel over there and do what they need to do. That's their preference. That's good for them.
Well, it's been legal here. I mean, they've been getting away with it. And I think until the very, the people that are making choices, which it should be we the people, make those choices where you prosecute the pedophiles, don't elect them to, be the president. So I think it's just a hypocritical way of living when you don't, you already know the problem and you want to address it.
Well, and again, we're trying to get to the root of it. When we can get rid of the people in charge of that type of organization, then we can, put a dent in, stopping some of this stuff from happening. Who knows? Maybe just some new faction will start up doing it as well. But anyway, we are at the end of our time. I mean, I knew that last one was going to be a doozy, but. Anyway, like I said, we're at the end of our time. So again, thank you for everybody that showed up. Please subscribe, share, follow, all that other good stuff. It really does help the algorithm. Tammy, I do thank you so very much for joining us and sitting in for Carol today. We look forward to having you back at another date for an interview, because this lady does a lot of different stuff. So we're going to have her back on really, really soon, where we can interview her about all the various things she does. My brother Pedro, as always, I love you, my brother. I appreciate you. It looks
I didn't
like,
go so deep in that one. There's a little more undertones, but
I know you can go way deep, my brother. So
because there's files that's been exposed since 2016 that nobody talks about. But yes,
just breathe, brother. Just breathe.
No, I gotta get ready though, guys. I got a full day going, and I gotta keep going.
All right. Well, again, it looks like we're not going to be here tomorrow. We got our chapter meeting tomorrow, so we will not be here on Friday, but we will be back here on Monday with a whole brand new show for you. All right. So until then, everyone, please enjoy the rest of your day, the rest of your weekend, Friday and your weekend. Hope you have a great one, and we will see you again on Monday.